Hello guys, welcome once more to my channel. Today we will go through some tips on how to build our own QR code system, how to generate our own codes for QR code. This will be also useful for you if you are interested to learn a little bit more on how is the information stored inside the QR code, okay? So we will see this in the next slides presentation that I have prepared here. Okay, so here we have a few typical QR codes that you can get online from the web. You can find in Google Images. You can find plenty of these kind of QR codes. Okay, so but what is this so ugly image, right? That the first time you see is like something went wrong with your PC or your phone, some kind of error or the screen resolution is not right. Okay, well, we will see why this image is like this, okay, and how the information is stored inside. So let's start. This is a typical QR code, and the first we can analyze is two main different regions within the QR code. So one region is like what I call the alignment region, okay, which is these three square structures, okay, highlighted in blue, which usually is in these three corners of the QR code, right? Then we have also the data region, which is the region where all our information will be stored in, all right? So alignment region, as I say, is a fixed structure, is always the same. Hence, there is no information there. This is only for alignment purposes of our QR code, right? So with regards to the data region, this is, let's say, the most important as all the information will be stored there. So we can see a portion of the QR code image that we saw just now. This is the top portion. So what is the great secret of these QR codes? Okay, the secret of the QR codes is that we are using a image to codify bits, right? So, for example, we can see the QR code as a very big, huge grid, right? And every square will be a slot for us to place one bit, right? So the way we codify the bits is using the color white or black, okay? So from here we can say that black represents 0 and white will represent 1, and that is how we can read or store the information in the QR code. But we can see this better with a grid, so let's press the grid, right? So once we press the grid, we can see very clear that everything is like all the squares, right? So when, for example, if I want to read the first line, as we say, white is 1 and black will be 0. So when we read the first line, we can say this is 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, all right? Then we read the next line, should be 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, and so on to fill all the data region with our information. But what kind of information can we store in the QR code? Well, we will store variables that are needed for our application. For example, if this is a kind of entity or business that offers services to clients, for example, we can save variables like could be the client ID, the user ID, the type of service that this business offer to the clients, the payment method, the uh, date of purchase, etc., and so on. All the variables that may be needed for our business, so that our system may need to store all this information within the QR code. Okay. Additionally to this information, we may need to add some security, right? We may need to destinate some bits within the QR code to security to make our system more secure. And optionally, we can add redundancy as well. Okay, so But then now the question is how much amount of information can we store within our QR code, right? Well, um, in order to know how much information we can store there, uh, directly related to this is the concept of the bit size, okay? So for example, here we see two QR codes, okay? These two QR codes occupy the same area, okay, in the space. However, the QR code on the right, we can see that the bits, the squares, are much more smaller than the QR code on the left, right? So hence, with this, we can fit in much more bits within the data region, okay, of our QR code. So with this, we can save much more information. So for example, in the picture on the left, we can store up to 262 bits, when the picture of the right, we can store up to 3,122 bits of information, which is much more. So when the bit size is smaller, we know that we can save more information. This means we can we can use more bits dedicated to security and also more redundancy. So with this will make our system more robust, right? It will be harder for people to break the code, right? But on the other hand, it will be much harder for the reader device to do the process of the reading the information, as now the squares, the bits are quite much more smaller, right? And maybe that is why, if you notice, when the QR code is, let's say, is huge, it's just it has a considerable amount of bits within it. You can see also there is like, I don't know if you can see from your screen here, but you can check later on. There is also like a fixed structure similar to the alignment structure that we see in the three corners, that most probably is used also for a further alignment via software to make the reading process more accurate. Okay, so with all these, we can already establish a few steps to follow on how to build our QR code system, right? So in the first place, we need to decide what information we need to keep within the QR code, all right? Then second, because we are talking about the QR code, all the information that we save there will be zeros or ones, right? So all this information from these variables, we need to make it as a binary code. We need to codify the information, right, as zeros and ones. Okay, once we have done that, we can add security bits, as I said initially, and also optionally we can add small bits for redundancy. Okay, once we have this, we can calculate how many bits we need for our QR code system, and then from there we can establish the bit size. So for example, if we calculate all our information and we need maybe 300 bits, then obviously we cannot use this QR code of the left, because we can store up to 262 bits. So we may need to do the bit size smaller. So we can calculate this in order to get the bit size according to the information that we need to store within our QR code, okay? So once we have all these, we can already build our QR code matrix, because it's a matrix of values with rows and columns, right? We can see the QR code as a matrix of zeros and ones, okay? Even the alignment region, we can see it as zeros and one as well, because the alignment region, the thickness of the line here is also same than the bit size. So for example, we can say that the alignment region, in this case, for all the QR codes I have analyzed, the size of the alignment region of this square is 7 bits, okay? So we will have here we can say it's like 0, 0, 7 times, then the next line will be 0, 1, 5 times, and then another 0, so total 7, and so on. And the three corners is exactly the same. So we can see the whole QR code as a matrix, a square matrix, okay, of zeros and ones. And that is how we build our matrix for the QR code, okay? So knowing this, okay, I have come out with a very simple application, okay? This application will simulate the online web application of a cinema. So this is like this represents the purchasing of tickets for us to watch a movie in our cinema, okay? And then with all this information from the application, we will generate the QR code accordingly. Okay, so for example, on the web, when we are purchasing tickets for to watch a movie, first we may need to select what cinema are we going to, right? So we will select the branch, because sometimes in your city or in your area, maybe the same cinema can have different branches in different places, so you need to select which one. Then, of course, we need to select what movie we are going to watch, right? We need to select the date that we are going to watch this movie, right? Actually, this application don't have any securities, just for as a sample, okay, for this purpose only, right? So we need to decide also the what time we are going to watch the movie, right? The showing time. Then we need to decide how many tickets you want to purchase. You can purchase, for example, we are going with our friend to two tickets, right? And you will select the row. Then we will select two positions side by side, 10 and 11 for me and my friend. Then the payment method, okay, let's say MasterCard, okay. So once we give to the button of proceed, it will generate our QR code image with the information obtained from the application, okay, plus additional information that can be required, for example, like the room where is your movie showing, or additional information like can be, for example, the purchase date, which is not some info that the user need to input there, right? So with this, we will have our QR code with all the information stored there, okay? And for this specific QR code, I can say that the data region, how much information we have here is 337 bits, okay? I'm using 294 bits for variables information, 9 bits for security, and 43 bits for redundancy. Okay. Also for this application as well, just I did the option to send the QR code to your email, so you can receive the QR code, for example, in your phone. If you have a smartphone, you can read the email. So you can go with your phone to the place of purchase and show it to the staff required, right? So this, for example, is uh, my email I just received. So I want to open, and here we have the QR code. You can see it's the same just now I show in the application. So from here you can print on paper, you can use your phone, bring it to the cinema, show to the people there, then they will read, and everything will go smooth, right? So I hope this information help you if you want to build your own QR code system, or you just want to know how this works, right? That is all for today. So thank you very much, guys, and continue watching my channel. Okay, bye bye.